Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Martin. I am presenting the case study for EDL 852. I will discuss the demographics first. Lightville Community School District is a rural community made of 60% farmers, two schools, 6 through 12 and and 7 through 12, within 10 miles of a major city, which makes it very interesting for people to come because they get to spend their days in a crazy city and come and relax in the country. Land values and demographics have caused an influx of new families, population growth of 2% a year over the past 25 years. It may not seem like a lot, but that has doubled the population. School board members promoted the idea of brand new building to alleviate overcrowding. The first thing that needs to be done is a survey by the superintendent. Middle school or no middle school? That is the question. The first thing that happened was the superintendent came up with 3 ideas after he had done his survey. Either an addition to the junior senior high and move the 6th graders, addition to both the schools, build a new middle school and pull from both schools. The landowners argued that they shouldn't be getting into more debt until the last one from previous schools were paid off, and that would be in about 9 years. Certain options were cheaper and would cause only a low tax increase, so that made it more feasible for some owners. New residents that had invested interest, younger kids, supported the superintendent. So if they had a stake in the new building, they were more inclined to vote for it. With a close margin of 53% to 47%, the district conducted a referendum to build a new middle school. It would be comprised of 450 students from grades 6 through 8. It would be built within 18 months on the same land as the other schools. A principal will be hired a year prior to opening the building, then the hiring process would begin. The hiring process was an easy step because a lot of the teachers wanted to come from the older buildings to new building who would pass that up. We in our district are going through a similar process. We are opening up a new school in August. We have had to have many people come survey our buildings. Unlike this district, we have a lot of schools. So they had to rank the schools according to worst to best. And a few years ago, we've closed 2 schools and opened 2 brand new schools. And this year we're closing our current building and we're opening up another building, brand spanking new, and it's amazing. A selection committee was comprised of teachers, current principals, parents, and the superintendent to hire the incoming principal. Susan Potter was hired. She came from a suburban school district where she was a middle school assistant principal, which is a little bit different. When you go from a suburban school district, the population is massive, to an urban school district where they only have 3 buildings, it's kind of a culture shock. So her first tasks were hiring staff, organizing curriculum, extracurricular activities, and instructional approaches, collaborating with architects for progress meetings, and involvement in equipment and furniture acquisitions. The first thing she did was she put together an advisory committee, which she also called her visioning and planning committee. Ms. Potter, with the guidance from superintendent and school board, put together the advisory committee, which consisted of 4 teachers from 4 different subjects, 4 parents, and her only stipulation that she was not the chair of this committee. Her guidelines were each member votes on decisions, so she wanted it to be a democracy. Each decision should be a consensus that all would find acceptable. So even though it was a democracy, she still wanted to make sure that the majority ruled, got what they wanted. Not what they wanted, but what everybody wanted. The need to develop vision statements that reflect beliefs of members and of the community and the community. All stakeholders would be given the opportunity to make suggestions. So the committee came together and they voted on Helen Burke to be the chair. She is a teacher. She is a sister of a board member. Her brother was the only farmer who voted to build the new school. So Helen Burke, she agreed to be the chair. She showed the principal support, but she had no intentions of coming up with a vision statement. She was influenced by the board member who was her brother, who said, let the principal be the visionary and you support her and make your votes accordingly. She also said she had a time limit. She had no confidence that everybody on the committee would agree on visions, and she felt it was best for the principal to come up with a vision and lead because she was the leader, so she was the principal. They felt like she needed to take the lead in making the decision. Miss Potter didn't agree. Her vision was that all the stakeholders would have influence in their decision. The committee and community should promote beliefs and hopes. Decisions shouldn't be made alone, and she doesn't want to be followed blindly. So she doesn't want to make a suggestion and everybody just agree because she's the principal. That's not what she wants. According to Kern 2018, school vision and mission statements should not be dismissed as empty words. There's something that everybody should follow, that everybody should believe, that everybody should have a stake in and pride in. One of the questions is there too much emphasis being placed on development of mission statement prior to the school opening? Why or why not? That's when the vision statement should be developed, prior to the school opening, or when you get new leadership or new staff. Everybody should come together and promote an idea of camaraderie, if that's the word that I'm looking for. According to Cooley Gowski 2023, defining your values not only express your authenticity, but also encourages your team to do the same, creating a shared vision for all coworkers. The shared word is the most important thing. If I believe in something and you don't believe it, we are not going towards the same goal. We are not going to be together as a cooperative team in order to make our school successful. The vision statement. Ms. Potter wanted the committee to come up with the vision statements, and Ms. Burke felt it was her job as a principal to formally come up with a statement and just have it approved. Why would it be valuable for a school leader to poll key stakeholders about the purpose of education when developing a vision and goals? Stakeholders have vested interest in their community. They trust us with their children. We need to know what they expect from us and how they expect us to deal with certain situations. The leader should know what expectations are given to the schools from the community. We are not a standalone entity. We serve the whole community, and we need to know what our goals are for the future, where they see us going with their students. Why is it important to develop and implement a vision and goals? Vision statements describe high-level goals and a clarity for the school's future. It brings teachers and students together in order to know what they are working on accomplishing. What should be the relationship between a mission statement and vision statement? A mission statement is all about how the school operates. It is the now. So what are we doing now to operate the building? The purpose of the vision statement is the goal for future reality. What are we going to produce? How are the students going to benefit from being in our building? After the first meeting with Helen, Miss Potter knew she had to bring her intentions to the whole committee. Many of the teachers felt that they could not and would not even try to come up with a vision statement because, as the principal, she was the visionary and the leader. It says, what is your definition of a visionary leader? What is the basis of your definition? When I think of vision, I think of a picture in my head. That's what I always taught my third graders, to visualize what you see happening. A visionary leader is someone who sets a goal and can visualize steps on how to make that goal become a reality. They voted against Ms. Potter, and she was to come up with the philosophy statement, and then the committee would vote for the approval. This image is exactly how I visualized her after the meeting. She went into her office and already began thinking of what she could do for the rest of the meeting. So according to Leon 2022, then it's time to put your plan into action and monitor progress to determining whether or not this decision was a good one. As you can see from her face, she knows this was not a good decision, but she had to revamp her ideas and come back again at the next meeting and present it in a different light. I love this quote where she states, "The new middle school is not mine, it's ours. Therefore, we have a duty to shape its future." I don't think they felt the importance of shaping the future of the school. And that's why they just blew off making the vision statement. At some points in the case, Helen alludes to the community's expectations of administrators. They see her as the end all be all, and that's not the case. Yes, she makes decisions, but in order for her to make good decisions, she needs to know what the community wants, what the community needs. How can we best serve our children? Are these expectations typical of those found in most school systems? I feel like it depends on the administrator or the district. We had an administrator before that did everything on her own. We were not involved. And honestly, when I started this class, I didn't even know what the vision statement was. Our new principal now is more where she involves everybody. Everybody has a talent, everybody contributes, everybody's voice is heard. So I think it depends on the school and who the leader is. What types and sources of data can be used to determine or provide support for schools' visions and goals? The first thing that needs to be analyzed are demographics. Where are kids coming from? Do they have breakfast in the morning? What do we need to provide for them? And then we need to look at their attendance rates. Without the students in the building, we don't need a vision statement because we don't have children. So we need to make sure their attendance rate is up. If they're not in the building, they're not going to learn. They're not going to succeed. And then we need to look at student achievement, looking at the screeners and the assessments, and how can we improve on the children's education ultimately. Why is it necessary to use data when planning to implement a vision and goals? Well, it's so important to know where the children's gaps are. What are they missing? Where do we need to start? Do we have a third grader reading on a first grade level? And how do we get them to achieve goals? Now, will we get them to third grade level? No, but can we make them have growth? Of course. So we need to know where the child starts. We need to meet the child where they are when they come to us. In our district, we are so mobile because of the military that children come from all different states and we don't teach the same. So we need to know what they know and their method of learning and how we're going to get them to succeed. Why is it necessary to involve others in developing and implementing a vision and goals? Well, like we said, the school is not just ours. Not just my school, it's ours. It's everybody's school. And we want all of our children to benefit. So I want to know what my coworkers think is most important in order to make our children successful. And what they know and what I know, we put it together and we can make our community even better. So according to the case, the committee had considered two proposals for developing a mission statement. The one proposed by Helen and the one proposed by Susan. Are there any alternatives? Of course, there are always other alternatives. I just feel like that committee was put together. I feel like maybe we should ask for volunteers who have time, who do not mind being involved and putting all of their effort into a vision of what the school should be. The more investment we have from stakeholders, the better the school will thrive. I also think that showing them examples of some statements can guide them in a possible direction on where to start. According to Indeed 2022, Ms. Potter knew that it was important to encourage contributions and keep the process cooperative and inclusive to all members. Okay, so my next page is my reference page. So I'm going to click to that page and then I'm going to get off my webcam so you can see my references. Okay, let's see. There we go. That worked. So here are my references. I added all the references in that I added from the last few modules that I thought were pertinent to our case study. And I hope you enjoyed it. I've recorded it a few times because I know I say a lot, so I apologize. Thank you so much.